Hello, my name is Melanie Bodwin, and I am currently enrolled in grade 11 at Oak Bay High School. This presentation is for English 11 with Mr. Mackenzie, Block 4, and this is about Shakespeare and his wonderful plays. You might ask, who is William Shakespeare, and what era was he around in? This presentation will tell you all about Shakespeare and what life he had on and off the stage. Now I am going to talk about Shakespeare's life. William Shakespeare's exact birth date is unknown, but it is assumed he was born on April 23, 1564. On April 26, 1564, he was baptized in the Holy Trinity Church of Stratford-upon-Avon. He was the son of John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. Shakespeare had 7 siblings growing up, and at the age of 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who was 26 and 2 months pregnant with William's baby. This was a huge scandal back then. His first child was named Susanna, and 2 years later he had twins named Hamnet and Judith. Shakespeare did much more than write plays. He was a poet and an actor. He acted in almost all of his plays he wrote. William died on April 23, 1616, and was 52 years old. Coming to any type of play was a social event. Women would wear extravagant dresses and even wear masks to hide their identity. This theater was called the Globe, and plays would only happen in the daylight because they had no electricity, and it was open all year round except for in 1593 when there was an outburst of the plague. The theater can hold up to 1,500 people, and there would be stalls selling merchandise and refreshments, which would create a market day atmosphere. There was 3 classes of people in the Globe. There was the earthlings, who were the lowest class and sat on the gross muddy floor. They would pay 1 penny and put it in a box to see the play, which is where the term box office came from. Next up from them is the groundlings, who would pay a little more for a cushion and would have shelter. And then there was the wealthiest class, that sat higher than everyone. Some even sat on the side of the stage to show how rich they were. Women would sit in chairs and men would stand to show they were strong. Flags were used to represent the type of play that was being shown that day. The theater had 4 flags. One of them was up all the time and had a picture of Atlas holding a globe on his back. The black flag was represented that it would be a tragedy play. White was comedy, and red was politics. Shakespeare had written 38 plays in his lifetime, and is still used today as a learning tool. Now for my passage that is spoken by Lady Macbeth. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me to the crown, to the toe-top full of dire cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse. No compunctions visiting of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. So to explain the passage. This passage is in Act 1, Scene 5, lines 36 to 52, when Lady Macbeth is waiting for King Duncan to come to her and Macbeth's castle for the night. During this speech, she is willing to take the throne and kill the king for it. This speech also shows Lady Macbeth's ambition to drive her husband to assassinate the king. This language represents her womanhood, which is supposed to be nurturing, but instead she wants to get rid of all the symbols and become masculine and violent. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new and interesting about William Shakespeare.